just a few days after release, and Marvel Rivals has already reached 10 million players. And with 33 characters to play as, I'm sure there's a superhero for everybody. Unless you only pick Spider-Man and sweat your ass off before the game even starts to try to pick him before anyone else does. Like I do. Yeah, that's me. I'm not ashamed, you know what this channel's about. But playing as my favorite superhero is no easy task. Time and time again, I'm thrown across the map by Jeff the Land Shark, I'm smacked across the face by the Hulk, I'm fucking getting shot at by the Punisher and the entire enemy team. I'm out of web swings! There's nothing I can do! Fear not, dear viewer. I've gotten a little better at this game since its launch and even picked up a couple MVPs. And I think I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve to show you guys how to not immediately die the second you leave spawn as Spider-Man. And that starts with me giving you a lowdown of the controls. Your main attack abilities are your punches, and also your web shots. Your punches only work if you're within 3 meters of the enemy, and they only do 25 damage when Spider-Man's doing the 2 punches. But when Spider-Man throws up that kick, he does an extra 40 damage. So if you don't pull off that 1, 2, 3, you're not going to get to the 40 damage level. And if you're not even within 3 meters of your target, it's not going to connect. In this instance, you should be firing webs at them. When an enemy is hit with a web, they're fixed with a spider tracer, which allows you to see the enemy's location even if they're behind walls. This spider tracer will stay on until the web wears off, or if you go over to them and fucking break it with your fist. And if you hit someone while they have a spider tracer on them, it does 45 damage. So if you want to rack up more damage on your opponents, that's going to mean hitting them with the web shot first, and then starting the ass whooping. And it's a lot easier to do this if your enemies don't exactly know where you are, which is going to be very easy when you're playing Spider-Man. Spider-Man is never a character that you want to see on the front lines. He's too easily dispatched by stronger characters, or even characters who can keep a steady line of fire on him. Spider-Man is best used behind the enemy's team. If you're lucky and you haven't been spotted by the enemy team before you swung around, you can sneak up on them from behind and start using your webs to get some damage in. You'll want to focus on one character at a time, since Spider-Man doesn't do enough damage on his own to take out multiple people. You're best set after characters who are in your weight class, especially characters like Iron Man or Star-Lord, who are able to fly around the field and bully your teammates from above. Spider-Man is especially strong against characters who tend to stay in the back, whether it be healing their party or someone like Black Widow who's meant to stay behind and pop off shots. Spider-Man can isolate those characters and take them out really fast. But one group of people that Spider-Man is not very good against is tanks. Unless you are trying to distract a tank away from the objective, or a Hulk is about to devolve into Banner, you should not try to get in a one-on-one fight with anyone toting a large health bar. Even Spider-Man's ultimate requires you to be delicate. Spider-Man's ult makes him spin around, shooting webs everywhere. He's quite similar to the Web Blossom move. This turns Spider-Man into a spinning, 16-meter wide web tornado. And there's even a little bit of input to it, so you can move around a bit while you're doing it. It does 12 damage per hit, but it slows down everyone who's caught within your ult. I'm basically saying that this move is not guaranteed to kill anybody, but it can net you some KOs if your team is there to back you up, or if it's being used on enemy players that have characters that are already damaged or just have low health in general. But that's the life of a Spider-Man player. Pray that you're fast enough not to get sprayed to death, try to take out anyone your team can't reach, and if that doesn't work, try to lure enemy players away from the objective, whether it be healers, tanks, anybody. Distracting them from the point so that your teammates can take it is a good idea sometimes. In this scenario, you'll probably end up being cornered by your pursuer. In that case, you're going to want to web him for extra damage and start fucking punching. And then consider pulling out your spider fist.
What?
Your spider fist is an uppercut you can do, and it refreshes with a 2-second cooldown every time you use it. This move sends your opponent into the air, turning them into an airborne sitting duck for you to beat on. This move is deadly when combined with the spider tracer, putting weaker characters 1 foot in the grave and just close enough for them to finish out with your fists. But what is this movement I keep telling you about? Well, you can web swing. You can shoot up to 30 meters in length, but this won't matter all that much if you haven't turned off automatic swinging, giving you full control of your web line. You can even web zip if your line is aimed a certain way. You get 3 of these ropes, and it takes 6 seconds to restock one, but you're going to want to be careful where you're swinging, because if you run out of web lines in the middle of the battlefield, it's going to be incredibly hard to get off of it, and you're most likely going to die within 3 seconds. In this circumstance, you're going to want to run for the nearest wall and start wall running as fast as you can out of the enemy's fire. Spider-Man actually wall runs faster than he runs on the ground, so you'll get a little bit of an advantage there. You can also pull enemies away from the objective with the get over here button. This is a Mortal Kombat reference. Why would Spider-Man make a Mortal Kombat reference? Maybe I'm just being close-minded. This will make you shoot a web line at an enemy, pulling them towards you. But if you've hit an enemy with a spider tracer, a prompt will appear below them, allowing you to web zip over to them with the get over here button, hitting them for 50 damage. Hitting them with a web and then following up with a web zip will already have you with 80 damage on them. Just keep in mind that this move isn't as long as your swing. It can only reach 20 meters ahead of you, and you can only web zip 24 meters ahead of you. And this move has an 8-second cooldown, so you better make it count. And that's Spider-Man on his own. But with another teammate using Venom, Spider-Man gains a new move. He is now able to turn into a 10-meter wide symbiotic spike ball, doing 50 damage every second to anybody inside. It lasts about 4 seconds, and you can still be shot while doing this, so I recommend just mixing this in with one of your combos. This same ability is also shared with Penny Parker, and Venom benefits with this team up with a small health boost. Well, I say small, but I think it's like 150 or something, or like 150%. That's like half of my health is Spider-Man. More, actually. Spider-Man has a passive bonus like this too, but you'll only get it if somebody on your team is playing Squirrel Girl. This will give Spider-Man a 10% damage boost. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're a combo-focused character like Spider-Man, and when a lot of moves are supposed to build up in order to kill your opponent, like getting your webs in, and then getting your punches in, and then the Spider Fist, and then maybe even the Venom move, 10 extra % on all of those moves is just going to make this process go by a little bit faster, and it's going to eke out that little bit of damage for you. And to make it even better, it also gives Squirrel Girl a web bomb, which does 80 damage and has a 4-meter blast radius, and it webs up anyone inside for 1 second. You'll definitely want to stick around your Squirrel Girl until she ends up using this. Following up with a Spider Fist could spell doom for anyone who's already been lowered enough by the web bomb, especially since you have that extra 10%. But the truth is, you might die. Actually, you will die. And if you do, it's okay. It's a short few swings back to spawn. Just make sure you don't waste all your movement options before you get there. But yeah, that's pretty much what playing with Spider-Man is like. But I bet those of you who watch the channel want to know what I think about the alternate suits in the game. Fine, it's time to start complaining. Nah, I'm just kidding. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. Of course there's the default look, but some of you eagle-eye viewers may have noticed that something's different. The spider has been made to wrap around the body, and the web lines have made their way onto more parts of the suit. And the back logo has been changed from black to its signature red. This design is an improvement over the previous iteration, but it's still an incredibly over-designed costume, with more lines on it than humans have bones. It's bright and colorful, it has nice lenses and logos, and those traits can kind of carry you anywhere with Spider-Man design. Anybody will like a Spider-Man suit that has nice lenses, cool colors, and cool logos. Bagman Beyond is here, and surprisingly he's not based off this old look. This is actually a homage to a more recent bagged look from the Beyond era of Spider-Man comics. Peter must prove himself worthy of being Spider-Man again, and during his time training he wears this shit, which is very similar to the one we see in Marvel Rivals. I don't mind this costume, it's got some cool features to it, I guess. I like the scrappy web shooters, and the keychain on the back is a nice touch. I also really like the MVP animation that comes with it. This is a nice addition to the game. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would have. Although, I never thought Marvel Rivals could over-design a fucking hoodie. Look at this goddamn thing. There's 2 pockets on it, a zipper that goes up the shoulder, and it's not even long enough that you can wear it without having an undershirt on underneath. What the fuck? I'm glad Marvel Rivals is making a push to include MCU skins, since over-padded and over-lined suits would look right at home within the designs of Marvel Rivals. If I had to pick a few favorites, I'd probably say I really like the Wolverine skin, and I really like the Iron Man skin. They definitely could have picked a better MCU Spider-Man suit, especially since they're going real heavy on the No Way Home references. For God's sake, they call this thing the Spider-Man No Way Home costume, even though it's the Iron Spider. So you know they're trying to tug on your heartstrings for that movie. But if that was the case, why did you pick one of the most infamous MCU Spider-Man costumes that have ever been made? Why didn't you pick the one that hasn't had much coverage yet, the one people have been begging to see? Or why not one of his looks that are just way more iconic, frankly? Like, I thought his red and black was so much more recognizable. And hell, if you wanted to pick a suit that came from No Way Home, I'm sorry, it's gonna be this dog shit. Why didn't you pick this one? It would have made sense. But instead, they've gone for a Spider-Man costume that's frankly just way less liked and is gonna be immediately outdated the second Spider-Man 4 drops. Or whenever Tom Holland shows up in a new movie in this thing. It's such an odd choice to pick this as the outfit that represents this MCU character. Most of the MCU Spider-Man suits follow the same web pattern, the same design. Like the Far From Home straight up has the Homecoming web pattern along with most of the formatting on it. I feel like a look within this ballpark is a lot more representative of what MCU Peter Parker has looked like, as opposed to this goddamn thing again. Anyway, it doesn't look bad here at all, actually. The Marvel Rivals art style makes it so much more digestible, and I love how vibrant the red is on this suit. It really lets me focus on the things I actually like about the Iron Spider, like how the formatting on the front turns into the back spider. I've always been a fan of that. I've spoken about this suit in a previous video, and I kind of touch on that more there and explain why it's not good in more accurate representation, because this is just not what this suit looks like. This is what this suit looks like in movies. Muddy, ugly, shiny, over-designed shit. Frankly, Marvel Rivals does it best. They did it better. They made the better Iron Spider. I just love how it looks here. So much more. And it also comes with an MVP animation that references No Way Home with just 2 of the in-game Spider-Man skins, which I think is kind of funny because... Wait, what the fuck? Is that Chasm? Yes, this is the infamous Chasm. You'll probably recognize that he looks very similar to the default Spider-Man look, and that's because this is a webless recolor. And if you're on PC, you may think this is Spider-Man's last skin, but it's not! PlayStation players have the choice to buy the Scarlet Spider skin for free off the PlayStation Store. And I downloaded Marvel Rivals on PS5 just so I could have this skin on an account somewhere. These recolors don't look all that bad, honestly. They do look really nice. But they cost money, and it cost me like 5,000 of the in-game currency to get all the Spider-Man skins, which costs about like $45 in real money. You could also buy these with units that you can earn in-game with the Battle Pass, and that also costs money. But it's either a steep climb through the Battle Pass, or you just pay for it. I like the recolors. I think they look cool, but if we're going to be paying money for these skins, I do think they should get a little more attention, like actual models made. I prefer Bagman Beyond and MCU Spider-Man level of work over the Chasm recolor level of work. I do like how this one is cheaper though. You know, looking at the Kane suit, it really shows me what Marvel Rivals is willing to do to make a recolor. Like what kind of edits they're willing to make to the original model to put a skin out in the game. It kind of makes me feel like I can predict how future Spider-Man recolors might look. I'm kind of torn on the recolors. I do think they are a little lazy, but they do look nice and they are a little cheaper. Plus, there's like 33 characters with more coming. I can't constantly be expecting everyone to pay attention to Spider-Man and give Spider-Man specific skins with new models. I feel like that would just be selfish of me when there's characters that don't get as much love as Spider-Man and could probably use that. I can ask for this skin back though. I'm sorry I shit on it in the last video, Marvel Rivals. Please bring it back. Oh yeah, and is anyone gonna follow up on this? Alright guys, the video's over, it's ad time. I helped make a Spider-Man fan film, What Would Spider-Man Do? It's out on YouTube now. You can go see it. I really like it. I hope you really like it. Everyone in the comments really likes it, so I think you should go watch it. And if you play Fortnite and you want to get those new Spider-Verse skins, new Fortnite video coming soon by the way, please use my creator code, AmazingPSM. It seriously puts money in my account and it helps me buy fabrics, it helps me make my suits, it basically pays me to buy the materials for my costume. So if you use my Fortnite creator code, you're helping me make more content for the channel. Point blank simple. Thank you so much for watching this video. Yeah.